Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mark Lamers. I'm Director of Corporate Communications and Marketing, and I would like to welcome you all to our annual New Year's reception. Please come forward if you want. And in a couple of minutes, I will give the microphone to Louise Fresco, President of Wageningen University and Research, to say some words to this special year 2018. But please come forward. Don't be shy. We are amongst ourselves. Thank you very much. And Louise, can I ask you on stage? Thank you.
Hello, everybody. On behalf of Rens and Arthur, I would first of all like to welcome you to this New Year's reception and to wish you also a very happy New Year. I would like to extend a special welcome to a few people, not least Ron Mazier, our new Director of Strategy and Accounts. Ron, maybe, yes, he's there. You'll have a chance to meet him. He's the last in our long row of directors, but also our colleagues from TNO Food. There should be some of you here as well. That's a new group coming to our campus. In some ways, I can't use the word merging, but let me use it for simplicity's sake. Also with us here at AFSG, you're most welcome to be here. And of course, I also extend my welcome to all those who are not here with us physically on campus, but who are somewhere out in the provinces, may I say, whether it's Leeuwarden, Den Helder, Ierseke, or Lelystad, and many other locations. So all of you, a warm welcome, to this year. Now, all New Years are special, but I think we all agree that this year is more special than other years. In 2018, of course, we will celebrate our centennial. You have here our centennial media team. Put up your hands just for a minute. They're going to pester you. And we have here some other team members of the Centennial team, and I'm really counting on all of you to make our Centennial something special. I think we can be extremely proud of the fact that we exist now for 100 years, and you have ample opportunities to celebrate, but also to commit yourselves to making it a success. Our program for the Centennial is, and I'm putting this mildly, really quite ambitious. So we need you all, but it's going to be a fantastic and magnificent celebration with many surprises that we will reveal only as things go by. But of course, work goes on while we have the Centennial. And one of the important things we will do, apart from the normal work, is also to prepare our strategic plan. As most of you know, we are due to deliver a strategic plan every 4 years. And this time it will be a strategic plan with a first new executive board, because even I wasn't there only at the very last of the preparations of the last strategic plan, but with Arthur and Rens and myself, we have now a new executive board and also quite a few staff members who are new. And it is an important occasion for us to prepare that plan. A plan which we believe is not just a formality, it's also not going to be 500 pages, rest assured, but it's going to be, and it must be, a plan that helps us to prepare some major decisions for the future, not just the near future. I mean, the plan runs for 4 years, as you know, but also for the way we want to position ourselves in the period, say, 2025, 2030. We need to take some decisions now to be well prepared for the future. And as you know, that future will change. It will change quite rapidly. I'll come back to that in a moment. This year, 2018, will also see the implementation of a large number of changes. First of all, structural changes. We have a couple of new units, and we have a couple of units that moved physically as well as geographically. You know what I mean, I won't sum them all up. But importantly, we are implementing some of the reorganizations that we've had to sort of start up last year. I'm thinking of our corporate strategy and accounts unit. I'm thinking of ESA, our education institution, and of course also of the newly created last year corporate value creation unit. So we have a number of new units, and we also have a number of new tools that we will implement, not least, for example, our tenure track system 2.0, our daylight saving education, our new international bachelors, and so on and so forth. So this year, beyond the centennial, beyond our strategic plan, will also be a year of the first step of consolidation. And there are quite a few things that need to be put in place, implemented, which will take your real attention. But also, of course, 2018 will be the first year that we are in the hands of 3 ministries. We are absolutely unique in the Netherlands in that respect. No other academic institution belongs to 3 ministries. We have a complex tripartite relationship with the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food, and the Ministry of Economic Affairs. Nobody knows, certainly I do not know, what the future will hold in that respect in terms of governance, but we're open-minded and we'll see how this all works out. And sometimes it's better to have 3 masters than just 1. Because, you know, it helps occasionally to be able to play the powers that be. But not just nationally, internationally as well, this is a time of change. And to be quite frank with you, I think there are reasons to be worried. Reasons that have to do with geopolitical tensions, collaboration between countries, which is not perhaps as easy as it might have been, an EU that is searching for a new identity with Brexit, a growing problem with climate change, refugees, and all kinds of other things that affect us directly. So there is a role for us to play, and I think that role is important. More than ever before, perhaps, in a time of political insecurity, in a time of social uncertainty, the role of science is going to be important. And I think we will be called upon more and more to make ourselves heard, to say what we think and also what we don't know. There's a real need for science to speak out. And let me be extremely clear, while we have that responsibility towards society at large, not just the private sector or government or NGO, but really society, the public at large, it's also very complicated to speak out because our science, of course, doesn't give ready-made answers. We can't just tell government, do such and such and you have a solution. But what we need to do, and as some of you know, I have been repeating all along, we need to contribute to a dialogue. The social dialogue on the future of agriculture and food and environment is perhaps more urgent than it was 3 or 4 years ago. And that has consequences for the way we work. It has consequences for the way we consult one another, for the way in which we are able to really create an internal dialogue as well. The internal dialogue is going to be the key for the success of the external dialogue. And that means actually quite concretely that when we are engaged in research or in education which has implications beyond a specific field, we need to consult more. We need to peer review more and we need to talk to one another more. And of course there is no his master's voice, there is no party line, but the dialogue itself is important. So that is certainly something we need to work on, communication internally and externally. But we also have a number of tools that we will be implementing as we go on. For a start, I think that we feel as an executive board very strongly that we need to work even more on talent recruitment, nurturing our talent, identifying our talent, but also proactively scout for talent in the organization, in the Netherlands and elsewhere. We need to do that hand in hand with our efforts on diversity. And diversity is not just diversity of gender or age, it's diversity of all those underrepresented backgrounds that we don't have sufficiently in our organization, whether it's different ethnic, cultural, religious or sexual backgrounds. We are still very much a Dutch and still very much in many ways also an elderly white Dutch male organization. That has its good points, I know, I grew up in the system, but still times are changing. So the scope for diversity and for talent nursing is going to be really important. There are a number of ambitions that we have. for which these tools are really important. And I think the number one ambition that I hope you all agree on is to maintain and consolidate our position as a number one leading institution in our field, in education, in research, in value creation, and in social dialogue. We are number one, but it's always easier to attain the position of number one than to consolidate it. And past results, as we very well know, are not necessarily a guarantee for the future. So we need to work on that, on maintaining that position. A position, by the way, we also hold because we are the number one greenest campus in the world. All that means obligations and not just sitting back and enjoying our number one position. But our ambition is clear, and for that ambition, we do need to move. We need to think about how we can focus more on excellence in education, how that works in terms of the relationship between offline and online education. Last year, we attained 400,000 MOOCs, online students. Is it possible to get to 500,000 this year? Perhaps. We are starting on our startups. We're starting on getting more value created out of what we do. Can we get more? Can we get a sizable increase in the number of startups and spin-offs and what have you in all that language? And can we make them even more international? Not just Dutch, but really international. And so there are many other parts where we have to formulate our ambitions. Ambitions for this year, but also spilling over into the strategic plan as we will formulate it. There are a couple of other things that will happen this year. As you know, Unilever will move to this campus in the course of the year. We will need to discuss and find solutions for the eternal problem of accessibility of the campus. Very interesting subject, very complicated also, but I hope we'll find a solution there. We have permission and funds to start building the Dialogue Center, which will be our center for communication, dialogue with our partners about big social issues. That will happen. We will probably see also the extension of NEC Ultra or Plus Ultra. I always say NEC Plus Ultra, but that's old Latin, which is not appropriate anymore. Plus Ultra, phase number 2. And of course, we will continue to explore the possibilities of a new education building. So that's in terms of building. I'm not talking about the numbers of trees we're going to plant, the numbers of flower bulbs, and the numbers of water birds and other things that will happen on this beautiful campus. But things will happen and things will change. But most importantly, I think that we can all be extremely proud of this organization. A pride which has materialized in a way last year in the publication of the September issue of the National Geographic, which I hope all of you have seen and are keeping locked up in your drawers to show to the selected guests as you go along. That was a fantastic piece of communication for us. And hopefully it will get a follow-up this year, maybe with a documentary, maybe in collaboration with the Smithsonian or other institutions. But again, these kinds of results in themselves are not a guarantee for the future. We will need to continue our communication. We will need to do this well. It's one thing to have a good story. The other one is to tell it and to tell it well. And that's where all of you come in. It's not a story that just the directors or the executive board can tell. It's a story that all of you need to tell. And we have to tell it well. We have to tell it in many different ways, in social media as well as in other kinds of arenas where perhaps we're not always visible. So there is a task for us. But most importantly, let 2018 be the year where our institution becomes even more a place to get inspired, to inspire others, to do disruptive work in education and in research, and to be creative. I think above all, it's creativity and passion and compassion in these times that really single us out. We have an area of work which perhaps is one of the most relevant and most urgent in the world. We are a fantastic institution, and I'm extremely proud that I can again serve you for another year. And I think I speak on behalf of Rens and Arthur to say that we're extremely happy that you are here, that we can do this together. So please enjoy this year, be happy, be inspired, and let's join forces to make it a wonderful year with a centennial and many, many other things that are our tasks of the future. Thank you very much.